Some women come into your life looking like a total blessing, but in reality, they function like an emotional labyrinth designed to drain your energy, your peace, and your purpose. Music, the truth is, human behavior always leaves tracks. And today, I'm going to reveal 5 specific phrases that serve as an immediate red flag, indicating that you're dealing with a manipulative and spiritually misaligned personality. The first behavior that almost no man notices right away is when she starts shifting her burdens onto you. A typical phrase here is something like, "If you really cared about me, you'd cancel your plans to stay with me right now." Look at how this works in her subconscious. Evolutionary psychology shows us that a healthy partner looks for cooperation, but a woman driven by egoentrism looks to extract resources, including your time. When she says this, she isn't expressing love. She's testing your willingness to abandon your mission for her whim. Other common variations are, "I know you wanted to save money, but I really want to go out. Can't you cover it this time?" Or, "Why are your friends so important? I should be your absolute priority." What she's doing is making her life easier at the cost of overloading yours. A constant pattern of this reveals a soul consumed by selfishness where your well-being is just an irrelevant detail. The second dangerous phrase involves a mask of virtue. She says, "I love God and I follow my principles," but her actions tell a completely different story. You know what almost nobody notices. It's what we call the halo effect. Because she uses sacred words or moral concepts, your brain automatically grants her a high character she doesn't actually have. She might say she wants to honor values, but then she pressures you to compromise your physical or financial integrity whenever it's convenient for her. She uses spirituality as a control tool, not as a guide for conduct. If the talk is holy, but the attitude is profane, you're looking at a simulation. If this is already making sense to you, and you feel like you need to shield your mind against these traps, leave a like on the video. It helps the channel keep bringing this kind of content to men looking for the next level. The third phrase is maybe the most seductive and cruel of all. "Music, you won't find another woman who understands you the way I do." Here's the interesting detail. Music, this is pure dark psychology. She studies your weaknesses, your insecurities, and your past to create an emotional dependency. If she realizes you feel alone or misunderstood, she sells herself as the only cure for that pain. She maps out what you want to hear and delivers it in tiny doses, but only when you do exactly what she wants. It's a game of reward and punishment. Music, when she uses your vulnerability against you, she isn't loving you. She's cornering you. Music, at this point, you've already realized that communication is either your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. If you want to master the art of leading conversations, identifying manipulation, and becoming a man who breathes authority and desire, you need to check out the ebook, Messages of Seduction and Power. Music, it features over 150 Reddit house messages. From opening lines for apps to frame control techniques that prevent you from being manipulated. It's the step-by-step guide to taking the chat to the date with total confidence. The link is right below in the description and in the first pinned comment. Don't be the man who falls into traps. Be the man who masters the game. The fourth phrase you should listen to carefully is the famous strategic delay. "I'm still finding myself spiritually. I just need more time." At first glance, it sounds honest music, but in practice, it's often a way to keep you on the hook. While she enjoys the benefits of being with a high, Val, you man without having to commit to the same standards you follow, She says she admires your faith or your stance, says you inspire her, but she never reaches the moment of decision or real change. She's buying time. In psychology, music, we call this intermittent reinforcement. She gives you just enough hope so you don't leave, but she never delivers the reality you're looking for. If she never reaches the truth, she'll always be an anchor pulling you away from your purpose. Music, finally, the fifth sign, is the distortion of truth for selfish ends. She says things like, if you were really a man of value, music, you'd be more understanding of my mistakes. Notice the perversity here. She takes a positive concept, music, like understanding or forgiveness, and uses it as a weapon to invalidate your boundaries. She tries to make you feel guilty for having rules or demanding respect. Another example is, love is all that matters. Why are you complicating things with logic? She uses emotion to cloud your judgment. It's a form of moral gaslighting where she tries to make you believe that your righteousness is actually a character flaw. If you want to understand more and more about female psychology, attraction dynamics, and high masculine communication, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Understanding these 5 phrases isn't about becoming cynical or bitter, it's about becoming sharp. The world is full of noise, and the ability to filter who enters your inner circle is what defines your destiny. Now you have an advantage that most men ignore, the ability to hear what isn't being said. Use this knowledge to protect your mission. And find someone who doesn't just speak your language, but walks beside you with that same integrity.